Good morning, Juventini. Welcome back to the All Juve cast, where it's all Juve all the time. Sponsored by stripedheartsapparel.com. Check them out for the biggest collection of Juve fan gear you will find. And we've got a full panel here. Sorry, we're a little bit late. The new guy, Joe, had to do his hair, but we're all good. We got Luca here with us this morning. We got Lucci, and of course, Joe. How's everybody doing?
Feeling good.
Feeling good.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
classic Genoa match that seems to be very, very difficult for Juve, whatnot. But Lucci's feeling good. Luca, how you feeling?
Sun is shining, man. Can't be negative this morning.
It is. It's almost like look how heavenly it looks behind Luca there right now with that
Done on
window there.
purpose.
It's
All done on purpose, guys.
yeah. Look at this guy, Joe. Sorry, buddy, but how you doing?
I'm doing great. I see I have my own kind of halo going on, kind of like Luca. So we're all doing good. We're doing good.
I love it. I love it. We got Bobbin right out of the gate, always with us here right from the start. Good morning, Dave. Another match day. And Skanga, as always. Genoa stink. Yes. Yes. Classic. All right, guys. We'll go through this match day live. Same format as always. Kick it off with a little bit of the news, a little bit of what's going on out in Juve land there, and Twitter as well. Demiral scores a beautiful goal. A little painful to see that he can watch his offsides potentially a little bit better than Morata, but hell of a finish there. Hell of a finish from Demiral. And then, of course, the discussions come up about Juve and Demiral and whatnot, and could we not commit some more minutes to him? The tough thing there was that it was based on Chiellini, essentially, because Chiellini is going to continue on, and nobody really knows when the end really is going to be marked by Chiellini. But guys, Demiral scores a nice goal there, and all the thoughts and all the discussions creep up again about Demiral and should we have gotten rid of. I will say this. For me, the only thing is I hate the fact that Juve didn't work something where it was at least in their control, whether they got him back or not. That's my only criticism of the Demiral move, is that you've left it all in Atalanta's hands. 100% they will exercise the option. But let's kick it off with you guys, and let's go around the clock this way, starting with Luca. Luca, thoughts on Demiral?
Shit. I think business-wise, you look at it and you think, okay, they're not going to get rid of Leo. They're not going to get rid of Chiellini. They're not going to get rid of De Ligt. So it boiled down to, can we get rid of Rugani? And the obvious answer is no, because who wants him? Nobody. Maybe Sarri wants him to just stare at on the bench, but that's about it. So it made sense that he was the one to go, as much as personally I would never have done it, but you can't mix emotions in that situation. I think our board just did what's best. I'm just, like you said, I'm mad that not only do we have not a say, but we didn't go for a straight sale. We just loaned them out. So technically we haven't really made any money off him, or plus Valenza, whatever you want to call it. In this case, we're just not paying his salary anymore. So I'm happy for him. He's thriving in that environment. They're above us in the table. And, yeah, he played well yesterday. I mean, people are going to nag about what's called the great goal that he had. We'll give it to him for that. But defending-wise, he remains the same. I mean, well, the other guys will probably touch on it, but I think he was 50-50 yesterday in terms of his performance.
Yeah, and his defensive stuff is still, needs work, needs polishing or whatnot, but it's definitely not bad. And it's definitely in a position where I would have more faith in him than Rugani, which is essentially what we kept. The other thing to keep in mind is Rugani's contract expires this year, finally. And
Thank God.
so his contract expires. Rugani's going to be gone anyways. You're going to need a center back. Again, Chiellini, nobody knows when it's finally going to be, it for him and whatnot. And yeah, it's a weird one. Lucci, thoughts on Demiral? And just the discussion going out there.
It's tough because everyone only sees the goal. They don't see that he was, could have been at fault for, I believe it was the Mertens toasted him on one play.
He was at fault.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. But the only thing I would, like you mentioned now, like they don't have any control. If Atalanta want to exercise it, it's done. And with that, it would have been nice to get a little more cash. You know, they paid 22, 25 mil for him, where the option I think is 30. So, you know, it's not like you're making a lot of money on that. And again, and I was telling Luca this a couple days ago, maybe last week, that if we don't make, you know, top 5, top 6, De Ligt's gone. So there's your third spot right there. Then you don't have Demiral and you don't have De Ligt. So then you're screwed. Rugani's going to sign another 3-year contract
extension.
You know, so it's a tough situation. I think, I don't like, does it matter if Demiral doesn't want to stay and maybe he has a say in not staying with Atalanta and wanting to come back? Maybe that plays a factor. I don't really know, but you know, I guess we'll have to wait and see how it pans out.
Yeah. Joe.
I mean, I think the guys kind of went over everything that I've already thought of. The only thing that I would add is that for me, at least for Demiral's time at Juve, I always kind of thought that he was a little bit of a defensive liability. It just seemed like every time he was on the field for Juve, he would get like a cheap foul, or he'd get carded or even sent off. That's at least, you know, what I have seen and what I've experienced with Demiral at Juve. But then you see players like Romero and him flourish at Atalanta, and then these other deals happen with them, and we seem to kind of get left in the lurch. It makes you wonder, like, what's the actual problem here? Is it Juve? Is it the player? Is it a combination of both? I don't know, but I think that Luca and Lucci kind of hit all the other points. You know, kind of sucks that we're, you know, in this situation in terms of his contract and whatever, and where he'll end up. But I think that there's still plenty left in the season. So who knows what Demiral shows up the second half of the season? Maybe he puts up a stinker, and then, you know, we're better off. Who knows? We have no idea.
Yeah.
And he's not great with his feet. We never really mentioned that.
He's improved under Gasperini.
He seems to have improved.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
In that sense.
I
Like, he's
can't
on the
stress
ball
this
better.
enough, though. I feel like people are putting like this, like, to expect excellence, like right out of the gate. The guy's still 23 years old,
right.
and a lot of the criticisms, I feel like people are criticizing him as if he cost us, you know, De Ligt money
He
or whatnot. And he was
not.
nowhere close,
Yeah.
you know.
We paid
and
Rugani probably more. I want
What's
to
that?
know what we bought Rugani for. If someone find that, I need to know that stat right now. I'm pretty curious to see if we paid more for that bum than we did for an actual proper center back.
Yeah, it's just, again, yeah, like 18 million purchase plus whatever bonuses on Demiral. It was fine. It was fine. And then again, like you're, you know, going through the same season where you left him. And a lot of it too has to be said. It was players' will, because Demiral did not want to be, you know, that far down the pecking order.
Yeah.
And that just brings up an even bigger question about Juventus and what they do with players. And if it's time to do that, it's very, very hard to walk away from Chiellini and just say, yeah, you know, like if he's not ready to say that's it, and go with Demiral at least stepping up a little bit higher. The other part that factors into this with Juventus not at least having it in their control is the fact that De Ligt has a release clause on him. So now all of a sudden De Ligt leaves again. Like, you're two defenders, two CBs in the hole because Rugani's technically one, because Rugani's contract ends and whatever.
And then, well, we still have Dragusin on loan, no?
You know, but
Yeah, he's
it's
not even
interesting.
playing.
Enter Romagnoli in the offseason on a free,
Oh.
potentially. And Lucas Face just about says it
Alright.
all. I mean, he's having a decent season, but I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. And yeah, it's just pick your poison type scenario when you have to deal with the fact that your roster has become not to the standard it should be with the finances you've taken out of Champions League. So it's a tough one. Speaking of potential transfers, the discussions are picking up even more with Axel Witsel, and even to the tune that it's completely done apparently with Dortmund. Nothing will be happening whatsoever, is the latest reportings. And now even January is now open for Juventus. What do you guys think about this move? Joe?
I'm lukewarm about it.
Lukewarm.
I'm lukewarm about it. If it were like a few years ago, I would have been like, yeah, okay, great. Let's sign him. Now, not so much. But from what I can see, I think it's just a stopgap solution. The guy barely played any matches the last season because he was out for injury. But the performances that he has had, he's been okay. So I mean, will he be able to help the midfield? Probably, because literally anybody could help this midfield out right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's if you can bring in any kind of reinforcement just to kind of anchor that midfield. Sure, I hope that the contract just works out more in our favor, and we're not shelling out a butt ton in player wages for him.
Yeah, Lucci.
Yeah, I think Joe pretty much nailed it. I'm pretty open to it. Like compared to a few other people, I think he would be help. He's a type of midfielder like the type of style we need right now. To help Locatelli, to help McKennie, things like that. He's got some experience. I know he's up there in age, but if you can get him for 2 years, 1.5 year contract, I think Allegri would do it, and I think he would. That's type of the mentality, the type of midfielder he's looking for. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Luca, anything to add?
I'll keep it short. I don't like him. I don't like the idea. I think if it benefits Max, sure, freaking go for it. But like the guy said, keep it short, keep it cheap. To me, this screams Rabiot all over again. So I say no, but I mean, who am I to say anything?
Yeah, I honestly can't get behind this Witsel thing. I can't. 6 to 8 million in salary. It sounds all too familiar, man.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds all too familiar with the business we've been doing, and I don't see Witsel in how he plays being anything over and above some of the guys that we currently have. Like, that's not the profile of a midfielder that we need to bring in. Like, we know what type of midfielder this team needs. The guys that we have, there's not a lot of separation with Axel Witsel on some of these other guys. And when you're using one of them as an outside, that's part of the damn problem.
True.
So yeah, I don't know, man. This is like, it makes no sense. We're literally, and like Arriva Bene probably like 3 or 4 days ago just spoke to how we're getting away from these deals just because they're free and paying huge agent fees or whatnot. And then 2 days later, three days later, yeah, Witsel is very much in play in January. What? Like, what?
The problem is, if Allegri wants a midfielder in January, who else can we afford? No one.
Yeah, but
bring Rovella back.
Bring
him back.
Running for it. Sorry for my language.
so the
Bring him
Rovella hype
home.
cooking out early here. We got
God damn.
oh man. So
Cliff.
Cliff is not only like so strong on Rovella hype that he's commenting from Twitch and YouTube. Okay.
Oh wow.
About Rovella here. Thought low key I wouldn't notice or something, but I'm sorry to tell you, Cliffy, I'd expect somebody, a major player in the Rovella hive, to know that Rovella's out today.
Embarrassed.
Embarrassing, this kid.
Yeah, he's not going to be out. And Rovella's been putting in stellar performances. The guy's unreal on dead balls too, like free kicks, and like he takes all their dead balls almost, and they're money. But going back to this, yeah, like the Witsel thing, I just don't see how it makes sense in anything we were doing in terms of midfielder who you get in January. Well, if we're going to start going to this is another topic discussion, the 4-2-3-1. If we start going that route, do we need to bring in another midfielder, really?
It
I
depends
don't
on
think
if you
you're
want the
gonna because you're
Locatelli
gonna have.
Bentancur double pivot, you know,
Yeah.
because I feel
Well,
like that's what they would go. That's what Max
you're
would want to
hoping
go with.
you're hoping that Bentancur is basically replaced by a proper pivot midfielder in this case. So I'm thinking flush the kid, put him on the bench or something, or sell him for whatever we can get, and replace him with someone who could play that pivot a little bit better. Not saying that he's not doing an okay job, but that's my own personal gripe against Bentancur.
I think
Sorry.
ideally you would want Tuchamendi from France, but that's going to cost you lots of money.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
That's the
Not gonna
thing
happen.
is that it's one of the how can I put this? It's one of the good and bad things about the January transfer market is that one, you have the opportunity to get players, but two, you rarely get the kind of business that you need to get done
Yeah.
in January.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it's all about the stopgap solution. It kind of sucks, but you just got to see who's available.
Hear me out. Storaro on a 6-month loan.
What about Rincon?
I'd rather take
Yeah.
Rincon back. Yeah, honestly, at least he
So-
broke some heads.
So Edgar asked this question a little while ago here, and I was keeping it on lockdown here. Given we are broke, we buy Vlahovic, we won't be able to strengthen other departments. We should get cheaper and proven Icardi. So not just Icardi, but just this method of thinking in general, right? Because we know how much Vlahovic is going to cost. Scamacca rumors this week kind of picked up, and that Juve has reopened talks about looking at Scamacca, who is actually playing very, very well as of late, scoring goals. It's crazy to me he didn't get a shot and an attempt in the last Azzurri matches when we went with Belotti, who was pretty damn bad. Now, Scamacca rumors. Should we be looking at this route and look at, something less expensive, some more bargains, and look at the team as a whole? Because we have multiple positions we're going to need help in. Is that the way to go? Or does this team, should we go all in on a guy like Vlahovic? Where do you guys stand on this one? And then we'll get to just Icardi as well. But
Lucci started off.
Yeah. You know what? I do like Vlahovic, and I think he's going to be a top striker. But for our needs right now, and like you said, we need multiple positions. I really like Scamacca, and I mentioned that last season as well. So if you can bring in Scamacca, I think they're looking for 20, 25 mil, and then you can buy another midfielder, you can buy a center back if needed. Like, it just gives you more flexibility when you're, instead of spending 50, 60 on one player. So
Scamacca is going to be a lot easier on the wage bill too, because
Also true.
Vlahovic is going to be in that 6 to 7 million range.
mhm.
But what are your thoughts when the instant rebuttal is Scamacca is not of Juve quality?
Who are we comparing him to? Keane, who has 2 goals this season, and Morata, who's got a couple and has been invisible the past month and a half. Like, I don't know. Scamacca, like, he might not get you as many goals as Vlahovic, but I feel like his hold-up play would be a little better. You can bring in Chiesa, it would bring in Dybala. Like, you're getting more players involved that way. So
Yeah. My
I don't know, I'm
question
for
to
it.
KM here, who's coming in with, no, man, I don't want Scamacca unless we're out of the race for Vlahovic. Are you willing to sacrifice no improvements on the other positions? Because at 220 mil in the hole, apparently some 400 million bond that's apparently coming in at some time with only 80 million to probably go towards transfers. Are you ready to go in with the exact same roster of Vlahovic minus maybe like Kulishevsky and a couple of the mids? Like, who else are you going to add in there on bargains? So I don't know if I'm necessarily ready to bail out on the other needs. Left back is going to be a situation. We still need a better profile in the midfield that's more attack oriented.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't really know here if going all in on Vlahovic is the thing. Luca and Joe, let's get your thoughts on this. Spread out the money or all in on Vlahovic?
Look, people have to really be realistic here, and I'm not gonna downplay our team. But this is not the Juve of 2-3 years ago. This question of Juventus quality needs to stop being said. Like, we can't not only can we not afford like the guys like we did in the past, like Higuain and Ronaldo, just on one big transfer, we can't continue that way. We shot ourselves in the foot by doing those transfers, and look where it led us. It's been a downward spiral ever since. And I think you got to start looking at how we used to do business, right? If you want to get a big profile every once in a while, that's fine. I think we have to remain the big club that we are, but do smart business everywhere else. If you're telling me we get Vlahovic and we're able to sign like a decent midfielder on a free and a decent left back on a free, then I'm all for it. But we all know realistically that that's not just going to happen. You're going to have to splurge maybe 10, 15, 20 on all three positions, which, like you said, Al, is what we have as a budget. So I think it's time to just change it up a bit. And I'm hoping Arriva Bene butchered that. I hope he starts waking up a little bit and sticks to his guns and what he said, because we can't continue this process. If we go in 80 mil and then, Sandro goes down or Chiellini goes down and De Ligt gets sold, like we're back to where we started, and it's just going to be a vicious cycle.
Yeah. So, Joe, anything to add?
I mean, I like Vlahovic as much as the next guy, but we have to remember that we're dealing with Fiorentina here. So they are going to want top dollar regardless. It's going to be a tough deal to try and hash out, despite Vlahovic wanting to come to Juve. I know his contract, I think it ends in like 2023. Yep. If we want to wait, we can just get him in another year if he refuses to sign a contract with them. I want everybody to take a look at Julian Alvarez from River Plate. He has a lot of suitors. I think that we should try and get that kid. He would be 20 to 30 million. Kid is stellar. He has it. And I think that he would work really well with Dybala too, that Argentine connection. And we would still have money left over to satisfy all those positions. But in terms of Scamacca, I like him too. But I don't know. I'm kind of
Alvarez is a good shout. There were links there too. So,
but apparently he's close to Inter.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. Marotta has him.
Can we touch on Ant's comment quickly?
Oh, hang on a sec. He kind of comes bottom of the barrel here. 1 second.
Let's get to wants to hear his negative comments.
So KM, I think we could sign a midfielder for cheap. Example, Zakaria. We can easily sign Vlahovic and a left back if possible if we sell Kulu, Ramsey, and one more person. Ramsey will get you $5 and maybe an official match ball. Okay.
I'll take the match ball.
Let's and it might be a replica ball. Let's leave it at that. Okay. Ramsey, there's nothing coming from the Ramsey deal. Yeah, it's even if you look at our sales now, this is something that teams really got to pick up in is the sales. Julian Alvarez is an interesting shout. I really, really like that one. So Scamacca is a head case from
maybe we need that though.
I was just gonna say that, Luca. Do we not need a profile like that that's willing to go out there and show some fight, some grinta? Like everyone's complaining we don't got grinta. That's a prime example right there.
Luch, if I hear another guy on Twitter saying, "Oh, we're missing the Mandzukic in this team that used to fucking go and punch someone," yeah, we're missing that. So then why? Like, don't complain that we go get a guy like Scamacca who might do that.
Exactly. I agree.
Cry about Demirel being hard on players and being aggressive, but we're not a soft team. We were never a soft team. I don't understand where this mentality came that we should be not too aggressive in getting cards.
Edgar.
We got Edgar coming in here. If we get a good offer for Chiesa, like 120 million, which we did after the Euros, we should sell, as it will strengthen the team. And I love Chiesa, his grinta, but he is not a very technical player. He is no Nedved. I love Chiesa. I think he's one of the untouchables on this team. Yeah, that's the only thing I can say about Chiesa is that I would not sell. So we had an interesting discussion with Anthony because hypothetically the conversation came up. If you had to sell one of De Ligt or Chiesa and you can have the other for the entirety of his career, who would you keep? I said I'd keep Chiesa, and there's a number of reasons. One of them, I feel, not that I've got any signs of anything otherwise, but like you do have to factor in certain aspects of it. The fact that De Ligt is with Mino, it's easier to form a connection with Chiesa because with Mino, that uncertainty is always there.
Mhm.
And if I start to think about this, and let's say something happens, we get into the same scenario of 2006. The team needs guys that will stay loyal, that will stay around. I would expect Chiesa to stay over De Ligt. And that kind of, in my mind, like there's more of a bond there. And I would say I keep Chiesa for the entirety of his career. The other thing is, too, where they're at right now, we know how strong Chiesa is and how red hot he was towards the end of last season, carried it on into Euros. I think he's only scratching the surface of what's there, to be honest. Whereas De Ligt, I think De Ligt is, mind you, a very solid end product. But I think where he's at is kind of where he's at. With Chiesa, though, I think there's a hell of a lot more. That's just me. I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on this hypothetical about Chiesa or De Ligt. Let's start this one with Joe.
Oh man, that's so hard. Can we take like agents out of it, or do they need to
Take
be
agents out of the equation? I still stand behind Chiesa because I think the roof there, the ceiling is much, much higher than what we've gotten, which is still great.
I love Chiesa. I think the kid has it. I love the tradition that I think that he can continue at Juve. But when you look at a player like De Ligt, he's a great CB. You look at his time at Ajax, transferring to now. The kid was captain of Ajax, one of the biggest clubs in Europe, from a very young age. He was 19. It's like you don't see that.
Say
you
it,
don't
Joe.
see that.
Say it. Just say
So,
De Ligt. Say it.
Oh, that's so hard. I think that from what I just said, I think I'd go De Ligt.
Chiesa was influential with the Azzurri winning the
you said
Euros.
ask our opinions. Don't argue.
How many games did Chiesa win us last year alone?
Guys. He asked for opinions. Don't start arguing.
Fair enough.
Say your point.
Hey, I could play devil's advocate
Chiesa.
whenever
I
want.
absolutely love Chiesa, and I agree with Al, and I think that he's one of the untouchables in this team. Like he 100% is. But if I'm taking all of the agents, all of that garbage out of it, and just from what I see, I'm going De Ligt because it's all like
Lucci.
Good CBs are also a hot commodity. You can't just find a good CB.
And the right winger isn't? An Italian right winger? You know, name me another winger.
When you put Italian right winger, that makes it a little bit more difficult.
You look at every successful Juve team, it's always been an Italian spine. And that's Chiesa 100%. Like I said, Luca, we've had this discussion before.
I know we have.
If we're not finishing top 5 or 6, De Ligt's gone. Chiesa will stay. De Ligt's gone.
Yeah,
but I know you don't want to hear it, but it's the fact.
That's less because of De Ligt and more because of
management.
I don't know
because he wants to play Champions League, man.
It's not him. You know,
I think it's a bit of both. I don't know if you could really say that though.
I think it's a bit of both. He's always played Champions League with his time at Ajax, with Juve. You think just because Juve's having a tough time, he's going to want to stay and not play in Champions League just because it's Juve?
But
Chiesa has that better connection with Juve, like Al said.
But here's the thing about hypotheticals is that it's hypothetical.
Thank you, Joe.
We have no idea.
Hypotheticals out of the question, though. I think Chiesa had like De Ligt where he's at now is solid. It's great. Chiesa last year's unbelievable in the second half. Right now, our feelings about is Max getting the most out of him and whatnot, leave that aside. We know what Chiesa can do, but there's more. There's even more Chiesa can do.
And if he sticks with this 4-2-3-1, it will benefit Chiesa.
Oh man, like that's the thing. Why? Like now that we're playing in a manner where we should, it's like we don't have him available, you know. But he will be back, and I look forward to seeing him in the 4-2-3-1 because then I think we're going to see the Chiesa we've been waiting for under Max.
Chiesa's more talented.
It's interesting though. I love it. I love it. We got to
Go
get
ahead,
into
Luca.
these
Let's
things.
hear what you got,
We
bud.
can't be friends all the time. We got to get at each other once in a while, okay?
Well, this is
I like
a
it.
tough
Joe
question.
stands his ground on Delict. Luca,
Luca's gonna
Delict.
back Joe, and he's gonna
Go
no,
case and
it's-
case. A 2 against 2. That's good. It's good.
Can I just
We'll
say
leave
one
it at
thing,
that.
though? Can I just add one thing? This
The
is
right
this
answer
is,
is case.
there's
So
no
100.
there is no right answer here because this is not a situation we should even be thinking about, guys. We should just worry about getting top 4. Which
It's
we will,
reality,
and
man.
then- no, we're getting top 4.
Thank you.
Stop being negative.
Hey,
to answer the question,
speaking of top 4, so
I didn't
this
answer the
is
question.
the
I
next,
can't even answer the
thing
question.
we were going to talk about is I can't, for the life of me, side with a lot of the fans yesterday that were basically saying because of Atalanta's win, which has made it very tight at the top for the 4 teams, beating Napoli there. So now all of a sudden it's, well, Juve's out of top 4. There's top 4. How on earth are we out of top 4? I can't get behind that. It's like with, after today, with 22 games remaining, and if we win against Genoa today, which let's not even go there and think about not winning. Okay, it's going to be a victory. 7 points behind, 22 matches to play, and we're already talking about not being able to get into top 4. I don't see it happening. And I will take 2 teams right out of that top 4 right now and say that there's going to be a downfall and a skid. We're already seeing it from one team, which will continue. It's only a matter of time, especially with their manager. It just always happens. That is his teams to a T. And yeah, I'm talking about Spalletti. It's always a matter of time for a Spalletti team to crumble. You factor in key guys missing out. I'm ready for them to start skidding down, and it'll happen. Atalanta, I don't think Atalanta's got them in it to go the distance and get there. What's going to be interesting is seeing the teams that get dropped in Europe out of there and the edge that they get and how that helps them. But right now, honestly, I see those 2 teams stumbling. And yeah, Juve's right now, we've got the perfect schedule and stretch of matches to get us to the winter break and then attack things after there. But your guys' thoughts, are we out of this top 4 thing? Can you side with those reactions out there?
No. Talk to me in like 10, 12 games, and then we'll see. But right now, no, it's still way too early.
Yeah, I agree.
Allegri ball has people really depressed.
True.
I get it. I get it.
There are no lies there from Joe.
But you got to look at we have so much of the season left to play for. Like, be realistic about it,
Yeah. Anything can happen, man. It's like, honestly, there's so many more games. That's so many points. So many points up for grabs still. Like, just ride it out. Let's see what happens here. Okay, guys. Juve Genoa, 138 matches officially. Okay. It's trivia time. And everybody that's joining us live, help these guys out because, we're missing some of the big guns, and I've seen these guys do trivia. And use a little help. Oh, Lucas throwing his hands up like he's a trivia god or something. Give me a break.
No,
man.
but today is just bash everyone but the freaking owner of the pod. It's fine. We'll take the beating, but I guess Al
He's right. He's right, man.
today because he's got his own account now.
Take it easy.
We have
The
rights.
question is from 1933. I'm just kidding.
I was waiting for it. But we do
Biggest
suck at
win.
trivia.
What's the biggest win in this matchup? 138 official matches dating a hell of a long time ago.
Can you tell us who that winner was in that game? Or you won't tell us? I'm just asking.
Take a guess, man.
Come on, man.
I'm just
Come on,
asking a
man.
question, boys.
Best
him.
team in
I
Italy.
can see why Luca is
Best
not
team in
your
Italy.
go-to for trivia. Damn.
No, it's called just use
Dave's
the
coming in
resources
with
you
a
have.
7-0, coming in hot here.
I was gonna go 4-0.
I'm going
4-0.
8-1.
Oh,
8-1 from Joe.
I was gonna go 7-0, but 8-1
7-0.
makes sense too.
Edgar with a 9-1. Joe Cappuccino nails it. 8-1.
Nice, Joe.
wow.
And funny enough, it actually was 1933.
Christ.
138 official matches. How many? And I'm going to give you guys 10 either direction. How many total wins for Juventus out of 138 matches against Genoa?
Oof.
88.
I was gonna go
88 from Joe.
95.
95. Luca.
I'm gonna go 91.
Well done. And Edgar hits it on the head with 84. 84 wins from Juve. Since 2011. Since 2011, how many wins does Genoa have in this fixture?
6? No, that's
6.
probably even too high. No, that's too high. 4. Yeah,
3.
4.
2.
It is 3.
Okay.
3 victories. Okay. Actually, sorry. I'm just looking at 1. 2. Yeah.
Man, Edgar's nailing everything. What's
Man,
going on
Edgar's
here?
on fire right now.
He did his homework.
Google
He
is your
You might have
friend, I
to
guess.
be one of the guys. It's like, I don't know if
Edgar does
Edgar
work,
heard, but
man.
you can challenge the cast to trivia and try and win some prizes. And we got like
we kind of
Sick.
stink too. So it's
Yeah.
6 jerseys here and stuff. You might have to take that on. But yeah, 2 victories for Genoa. The last time Juventus lost to Genoa, who scored the goals for them?
Oh man.
Wait, did Sturaro play for Genoa?
Oh, yeah.
So it's definitely him. I remember like it was yesterday. For
Didn't he score one late and
yeah,
they won?
it was like a lot like an equalizer in the end. I'm almost sure.
I
remember it was Sturaro just because I think it
yeah,
was
because
him.
he went back to Genoa after he
Yeah.
left us.
No,
I'm
but
going
wait.
Pandev.
Tough. My God, that's a
Ooh.
good bet. That is a good safe bet. No, not Destro. I don't think he's the one who scored against us.
Guys. Pandev and Sturaro.
So we're both right.
Okay.
Attaboy.
All right.
Attaboy, Joe. This is why we're here.
It was
Teamwork,
yeah,
teamwork.
they won it. And Pandev and Sturaro were the guys. Last year in the Coppa Italia, we had a wild match with
Mhm.
Genoa. Who scored the winner for Juventus?
Oh, what was his name? Oh,
Raffia.
Raffia. Thank
Oh,
you.
Yep.
Lucci
Attaboy,
nails
Lucci.
it.
It was Raffia.
I was gonna say
Well
Ramsey. I don't
done.
know why.
Well done. You know what? Holy Christ, these guys redeemed themselves.
If
Hell
it
of a
wasn't for the
job by you guys. I
series-
think you're ready to take on Omar.
No.
Oh,
hell
Omar's
no.
a
No one
lock.
is.
Omar sits there, and don't let him tell you any different every night, studying
Studies.
past seasons of Juventus for when he makes his match day live appearances. Don't let him tell you any different, okay?
He puts on a good show.
All right.
Act
Well
as if he
done.
doesn't know.
Well done. And the guys in the live too, just all over it.
Killing it.
Fantastic. So, guys, we get ready for this match here. Perrin not with the team after contact with a positive non-team member. Reina, like we don't know how to say this guy's name anyways. He's stepping in. He's not going to get any minutes. It's all good. I apologize to him. Yeah, I'm sorry, young man. Your name's a nightmare. DeCilio, Ramsey, Danilo, Chiesa, McKennie, and of course Perrin all out of this one on the team list. Projected lineup in a 4-2-3-1. Szczesny in goal, Quadrado, Bonucci, De Ligt, and Pellegrini across the back. Bentancur, Locatelli as your pivots. Kulishevsky, Dybala, Bernardeschi, and Morata. Guys, lineup. Thoughts?
With
It's what we have.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, what would you change? It's fine. Like
with all the absentees, that's
I think
exactly how I would go.
all four of us are agreeing. As long as Sandro, Rabiot, and who's the other one I'm thinking about here? Yeah, Sandro, Rabiot should not be sharing the field. That's all I'm saying.
Like
I'm happy with that.
I wouldn't like to see Bentancur either, but
Yeah,
our
but
options are
pick
limited.
your poison.
So pick your poison. Yeah, I
don't
want to see. I want to see Kulu give it
I
today.
think he's gonna have a good game.
I think it's going to be fine. I think that's a good lineup, honestly.
Yeah,
Kulishevsky in a more favorable role. Bernardeschi, he'll be just fine. He continues to be the easy scapegoat for a lot of people, but he's big, and his versatility has come in clutch this season when he's available, and not enough people are giving him credit for it. So yeah, he's another guy that the contract talks are surrounding. Obviously, Juve trying to get him at about half, not even half. I think it's like a 30% drop in salary, and he's fighting to stay at 4.2 million. But yeah, he's been big for Max. And if we look at that stretch where we went on that streak, Bernardeschi was in there on the left, not the Frenchman. So yeah, this lineup, honestly, I'm fine with it. Pellegrini will have his hands full. That's how Genoa likes to attack. So I'd expect Genoa to be in a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-1-2, but they play on the flanks heavily. So Pellegrini will be busy. Quadrado, I like him better at the right back position, even though I think he suffers in moments defensively. He hasn't been the same when we slid him back higher up the pitch. I think he just needs that space and time to see more of what's ahead of him. And with this particular formation, if he's the one pushing it, allows us to use a guy like Kulishevsky's talents a bit better because he can kind of become free a bit. Dybala will still be in the hole, but he can even slide forward if that's how we choose to play it. So this formation makes sense in a lot of different areas. This match, we have to win. Just absolutely have to win. Genoa creates a lot of issues off set pieces. Juventus for a couple seasons has been suspect on set pieces. So it's going to be an interesting one. But for all the talks about us struggling and having a lot of issues with Genoa, I thought that trivia question was kind of interesting because since 2011, we've only lost 2 of them. And we've gotten, I think, 7, potentially 8 victories. And it really hasn't been. They've been grinds or whatnot, but 80% of Juve victories are grinds. And that's like even at the best of times when you look at that decade of dominance. So what are we really talking about here? They got to get the job done. We got to keep it rolling into the winter break. Let's get to some predictions. Okay. And everybody join us live. Take us on the predictions. We're going to start this one off with Joe, total offsides for Juventus.
I'm going with 5.
5 total offsides. Lucci.
I was gonna say that too, but I'll go with 4.
4. Luca. 3. I'm probably going to go with, based on how I think Genoa is going to play, I think we'll get like one offside, 1 or 2.
Anthony better be writing this down, or he's driving. Right.
Yeah, there's a situation involving a Wii guitar, so got his hands full. First card of the match. Is it going to be first? You got to name the team and the minute. Bonus points if you nail down the player.
Bentancur in the 42nd minute.
Safe.
Bentancur, 42nd?
Yeah.
All right. Joe, first card, team, minute, player if you feel confident.
Bayrami for Genoa.
That's a good
I'm
shout.
going with the 4. I'm going to go with I'll go with the same minute as Luch, 42nd minute, going into halftime.
Bentancur, 4th minute.
Not surprised.
Genoa, 2nd minute.
I'll go Pellegrini, 52nd minute.
How dare you?
Pellegrini.
He's a rough player, and he's going to have
Good
a
one.
handful today.
That's a good one, though.
Quadrado too.
That's a given. Just which minute is the question?
Yeah.
Genoa, 20th minute. I'll take that clumsy Barami there. Possession split. What's the possession split going to be in this one? I'm going 60-40 Juve.
That's
This
what I
is-
was. That's what I
yeah,
was gonna say.
62, 38, something like that.
I'm going to say
Okay.
55% Juve.
55 for Juve. Okay. Okay. Total attempts and how many on target for Juventus?
With this lineup, 14 attempts, 6 on target.
I'm going to say 12 attempts and 4 on target.
Okay.
12 attempts. I'm gonna say 6 on target. Yeah.
Oh, so we got ourselves a little Price is Right battle here going. Okay, 13 total,
Bob Barker.
6 on target. 13 total, 6 on target. Halftime scores. Here we go. Now we're getting to the goods. Halftime score. Luca,
1-0, Juventus.
1-0 Juve. Lucci,
Yep, me too.
1-0 Juve. Joe.
1-1.
Ooh.
Yikes.
1-0 Juve for me. Full-time score. Now we'll go with Joe.
2-1 Juve.
There you go. Lucci.
Yeah, 2-1.
2-1.
Just because I don't want to take the same as them, I'll go 3-1 Juve.
3-1 Juve. 2-0 Juventus. I'm going 2-0.
Confident.
That would be nice.
That would be
Goal
beautiful.
scorers.
Oh,
Goal scorers. Luca.
Pandev. Has to be Pandev. I'm telling you. For Juve or for Genoa?
What?
Al, for Juve or for Genoa? Which one do you want?
Yeah, just give me Juve's. I could care less about Pandev scoring a goal.
I'll put up. I got 3. So Paolo, Kulu, I think can get one today, and let's throw in Bonucci.
All right. Lucci.
I'm going to go Paolo and Kulu.
Paolo and Locatelli. I'm
Okay.
gonna give it a shot.
Mm.
Fair,
We'll see.
fair.
Don't let me down, Loca.
Kulu and Paulo. Man of the match. Way too early man of the match shouts. Joe, who's going to be the man of the match for Juve in this one?
Dybala.
Lucci.
Berna.
Oh,
Damn.
damn.
Joe's about to choke. He's like, wait, how? No, I like that choice. I like that choice. Just because we have to show the Ravella Hive what's up, I think Locatelli's going to have man of the match.
Nice.
Oh, all right. I think it's going to be Paulo. Paulo's so
He's got to
good.
make up for last game, yeah.
It's going to be Paulo.
Not
I
that he
might
had a
even
bad game.
change it to a Dybala brace because he might bag a free kick.
Ooh.
Might get a
He's
free kick.
due for
I
one.
hope.
It's been a while.
You
A
know
bag.
what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kulu. You're getting the hook, buddy.
You're
Dybala
getting
brace.
yanked off.
Okay. One free kick, the other in open play. Yeah, it's happening. It's happening. Fellas, always a pleasure chatting Juve. Getting ready for this one. Hopefully no slip ups here. Covered a lot. I do want to go back and kind of save this one. And this is for the Rovella Hive. Because we're not going to finish off without, paying a little attention to the Rovella Hive. There was a comment that came in, and it was involving Fagioli when we were talking about potential midfielders
Oh, no.
Juventus could bring in. And somebody made the comment, and we've
Was it
had
Lou?
such an active live right now that I'm having a hell of a time finding it. But it was essentially that they find Fagioli to be much more talented
Oh, I saw
than
this.
Was it
Rovella.
Lou or Raf that said this? Because
No.
they're the only two I could think of.
And I found it.
There it is.
Edgar, you
Edgar.
magnificent
These guys
bastard.
bringing
There it is.
terror today. Terror.
Edgar.
I think Fagioli is way more talented than Rovella.
It's a
Thoughts,
different.
guys, on hypothetically, you could bring both in because we can, but who do you find the more talented player? Who do you think would get the nod ahead if you guys were in charge, Fagioli or Rovella?
Joseph's going first.
There's a reason why Fagioli's in B.
Yeah. Yeah.
Simple as that. Ravella's playing in Serie A. So
Yeah.
And
I think that I love Fagioli. Like, don't get me wrong, kid's good, but Ravella's got that something extra.
When considering Max, I feel like Rovella would be more his type of box-to-box midfielder, whereas Fagioli, he still has a lot to learn, especially in B. And then same with Ronacchia too. Like, I don't know, they all look good in Serie B, but
Edgar's going all in on this.
yeah,
Oh
it's
darn! Hey,
I don't
props to
know,
man.
man. Rovella's got some good. He can pick a pass.
He has 3
Yeah,
assists.
this is an interesting one because I think I understand what Edgar's trying to get at, and it's the type of midfielder, right? And Fagioli's a little bit different than Rovella, but Rovella still has those abilities, and you see if you watch enough Genoa, you actually see his capabilities. And I don't know, for me, he's in Serie A. He's chewing up a ton of minutes. Like I said, he's their key guy on free kicks, dead balls, and whatnot. And if you watch some of the, I watched one. Everybody was expecting a cross into the area from the angle he was out, and probably like he was wide left, probably about 30 some yards away. He almost put this thing right inside the post. Like, he drove the keeper into the post, like making the save. The guy was rocked. It was unreal. Crosses on the corners and whatnot. I wish one Juve guy could hit a corner kick like Rovella can. Like, why are we so bad at corner kicks? It blows my mind.
But Quadrado had how many assists last year?
Don't even.
Why'd you do
But the corner kicks, what's with short corner kicks too in general? Like, just Juve's approach to corner kicks blows me away. When you have guys that, especially out of the back, take your pick out of Chiellini, De Ligt, Bonucci, all good in there. Get
We've
them
been
in
terrible
there. When
lately.
McKennie's
We
on
have
the
been
pitch,
terrible.
get in
We
there.
can't even put it like I don't think
can't
we've got
even
a
get
header
it
on
past
net.
the first defender.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry, but I'm sure Fagioli can hit those corners even money. But Rovella, I think he gets the edge because of the fact he's been in Serie A, chewing up minutes with a team that's just, like I said, they're 18th and they're 18th for a reason, but the guy's like shining on this team. So yeah, for me, it's Rovella. So Rovella Hive, rest easy. We still went with your boy. Okay. Fagioli, though, yeah, he's gonna need to be not in Serie B if he's gonna continue to be loaned out. I don't see him joining Juve after the Serie B stint. Is that fair assessment?
Yeah, I agree.
Next move to a Serie A team for a loan?
Yeah, whoever stays up this season, maybe one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see
Because
that.
you'd have to expect Rovella's coming next season.
Hope so.
I'd be shocked. Like, when
If
you
this
look at the
continues.
team's plan, what it's supposed to be, this move to a younger Juventus and whatnot, you're looking for midfielders, and Axel Witsel is one of the options. And here you have Rovella putting in incredible performances for Genoa, like at a much lower salary.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer for me.
Well,
And I think it was Lucci that hit the nail on the head. More of your Allegri type midfielder as well, in his approach and box-to-box ability. So Rovella Hive next season.
Well,
next
also,
season should be your season. And I'm with it.
If you're looking to move 2 or 3 midfielders, you got to bring 2 or 3 in, and you're not going to spend big money on 2, 3 guys. You'll be lucky to spend money on one and then bring back whoever else you got. So it's kind of hard to not see him at Juve next season.
Yeah.
Can I end this? First of all, I think Anthony's having a coronary right now, hearing all this talk of players that are not at Juventus. But I think Al said it well. They're both different players. We can't have this conversation right now because they don't play the same position and they play different leagues. Max right now, anything can happen, guys. You think Ravella's coming in next year? For all we know, Max can say, yeah, bring in Witzel, sell the Ravella for 40. You guys, we don't know anything. For you guys to all to say that he's coming for sure, it's a bit too confident.
I don't think Max is that crazy.
It's what we want,
know.
Luca. It's what we want. Give
I know
the
it's what you
people
want,
they
Joseph. Doesn't mean Max
They
gives us
want
what
it.
we want. Look how long it took him to do the 4-2-3-1. Yeah.
The
I
other
don't know,
thing
guys.
is too, when talking about other players, it's sometimes we got to just let Anthony, it's like that
He's not wrong,
meme
though.
of Homer Simpson's dad, old man yells at air or yells at cloud or whatever. Okay. Because we're not talking about random players here. We're talking about Juventus property. Okay. So it's a lot different when that connection's there. It's like literally players we don't have to spend a cent on. We own them. They're our players. So yeah, naturally you're going to keep an eye on them and what they're doing around the league and whatnot. Does it affect us this particular season? Well, potentially if you could have worked something out to get Rovella in January, but that's going to be very, very tough. Very, very tough for Juventus to swing. And I don't think Genoa is really going to go for it anyways, right? So next season would be the play. But it's a lot different when it's Juve property players. If we were just talking about random players, then yeah, I'm with Anthony. But the fact we own them and we need some solutions very, very much becomes relevant, right? Edgar's throwing in a question. So he's basically dictating that we go into overtime, boys. So,
Okay.
yeah, thanks. It's
not
all good.
stoppage
It's
time,
all
but-
good. We love it. Last question. No one of the panel likes Icardi's on-pitch abilities, question mark. He's 28 and could work for 3 to 4 seasons at his prime. A Trezeguet-like striker. I think Icardi's prime is past him, to be honest. I wouldn't say he's in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my first kind of disagreement in Icardi. One of the things why I'm not really keen on Icardi joining is the fact that he's kind of like a one-trick pony. I see him as, right? And he needs a lot of the other pieces to work for him, and he just really stays in the area, and that's pretty much it. And right now, we're seeing it. We need a lot more out of that position to make everything else kind of work because we're still a work in progress. I'm not so sure Icardi comes in and can hit the heights of what he did with Inter there. I'm just not really sold on it. And his move to PSG has been anything but flattering for him. Your guys' thoughts on Icardi as we wrap this one up?
Oh God,
I don't know.
Lou right now is at home watching this and thinking
Lou can't stand
he
Icardi.
can't
Screaming.
stand.
You,
He's
have never
bashing his head on the
witnessed.
wall.
I think I can hear it from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start it. Maybe last season before we even got Morata in our squad, I would have thought of the idea. But seeing how he really is just getting constantly injured and not even getting proper minutes with PSG, it's like, I mean, yes, he is a one-trick pony, but we do need that I think that type of player right now, like Skamakas and Vlahovic, you need that player in the box. And yes, they're a little bit more versatile, and I'll give you that. But you need that presence in the box, and Morata isn't cutting it in that sense. So I'm not saying I don't like Icardi. I think as a player, he's shown what he could do, but I think his time is far past him, and I don't want his wife near this club. So no.
Yeah. I don't know. There's two factors for me, because if Morata doesn't stay and let's say
Morata can't. We can't
Yeah.
purchase Morata.
I would agree.
There's no reason to.
Yeah. too
Yeah, I
much.
agree. So, but if you bring in Scamacca, you can't expect him to play every game. So you kind of need a backup. You need someone cheap.
Keane.
Maybe it's Icardi. He can still score. We know that. I would be interested to see how he plays with Dybala. I feel like they could have some sort of chemistry, like you mentioned with Alvarez, Joe. The Argentinian connection, maybe like Higuain style. But I don't know. He's got a lot of issues, man. It could go very well, and it could go. He could
He's
come
got
back
a
on
lot of issues.
Yeah, he could come back on a revenge tour of Serie A, and or he can also just be a disaster. So it's kind of one or the other. There's really no in between.
Yeah. Joe, I'll give you an opportunity to talk about Julian Alvarez one more time.
I'm telling you, we got to go for him. But
I like it, man. I like it.
But Icardi, Al, I agree with you. I think that he needs a lot of he needs service, and right now Juventus's service is not great. So I don't know if he could necessarily work. I like Lucci's idea of him potentially forming a connection with Dybala. The thing I will say is that Icardi's the kind of player who you can slot in there. He will take 1 or 2 touches a game. One of those touches will be a goal.
Yeah.
Like
That's true.
that is the
Very
kind
true.
of player that he is. And from what I've been reading, I think that he split with that absolute nut job.
We don't
Wandonada.
know. It keeps going back and forth. We have to ask
So,
Lou because he would know.
It does go back and forth, but if he can just sever all ties with that anchor, then we might have something. I think that he would be better off, 1, without her, and 2, it could be something for Juve. I think that there's something to be said about his talents.
That's true. I'll give you that. Can I interject here, Al, before you get on quickly? Right now, Spezia is beating Sassuolo and Venezia is beating Verona.
Okay.
Whoa.
And
Those are huge results there, Lucci.
Shakes up the table.
Yeah, shakes up the table, man. And it's not like
doesn't matter, man.
Venezia's-
We just need to win.
I know, but Venezia's
That's
winning.
Who cares about
It's
the
just
other
conference.
teams?
Yeah,
Exactly.
you know
Who
what?
cares?
Thank you,
Okay,
Joe,
let's
for
take
carrying.
let's take a look there. Luca, where do those games stand right now?
What do you mean? Where do they stand right now?
Are those finals or not finals? They're
Right now,
37 minutes in.
Venezia's winning 3-0.
Venezia's up 3-0.
3-0 to Tudor's. Like, that's a huge. We lost
Sassuolo
1.
will not drop that game.
I don't know.
You
Yeah,
heard it
that
here.
could be, but still,
37th minute, they'll win against Spezia.
you got to give it to at least Verona's getting smacked around.
Venezia. Oh, Joe,
That
you
is-
got some
That-
time before Juve game time hits. So are you going to run the gauntlet on all the Venezia kits you have and
No.
celebrate this?
No. Hey, it's not my fault that they look nice, all right?
They
He's
are
got-
pretty sick. I dream of the day Juventus goes back to the cap. I'm actually wearing one of
Yeah,
the Kappas.
Thank
Not
you.
gonna
7
happen.
They're sharp.
Not gonna happen.
You know, one
Yeah.
last thing, just to have some fun. Del Piero goals. I couldn't help but see this one pop up on the timeline there this morning, and it was the one against Fiorentina, and the over the shoulder ball from like midfield, and he's literally watching it over his left shoulder, hits it with his right boot into the short side. I put it in my top 5 Del Piero goals.
Oh, I think you meant all time.
Some started to throw it at number 1 based on the degree of difficulty, and I get it. Where do you guys put, like, what's your top Del Piero goal if you had to narrow it down to 1, like for you? And why? Is it the emotions? Is it the stage that it was done at? Like,
Oh, yeah.
the performance?
No,
Like,
I already-
it's really hard to weigh your top goals. This one for me, it makes top 5, but it's not like my
Not one,
top. And
no.
the interesting one with Del Piero, and the reason I say, is it emotion? Is it the stage? Is it the
Yeah.
level? Because even though he was Juventino and an absolute icon for us, a lot of people have his goal against Germany to seal it in the semifinal
Oh,
as one of
That
their
was
favorite Del Piero
what I was
goals.
gonna
And I
say.
can understand that
yeah.
from an emotional
Standpoint.
standpoint.
Yeah.
But what's your guys' top Del Piero goal? And it doesn't have to be the number 1, but let's say like you're one of your top 5 that just stands out.
Jeez.
World Cup stands out because of what it meant.
the
But it wasn't
stage.
like difficulty wise. Like, yes, it was a great finish, but
Oh man, that one with Amauri
Yes.
against Real
I-
Madrid.
that's
when
exactly
he
what
got-
I'm thinking.
That's a great goal.
He was like 40 yards out, and he put it
Amauri got
Mhm.
so lucky
in.
because that
Oh, yeah.
ball hits the defender's leg, bobbles around, and just sits there.
And
And
he
Del
hit it
Piero is like,
well.
I'm hitting this thing. And I couldn't believe he was gonna shoot from there.
Mhm.
And
But
the shot
him
was
did.
like
Yeah,
unreal.
no,
That is
for
a
me,
top
that's
one for
that's
sure.
top one because technique. You have to be like top form in the world to hit a ball like that against Madrid at home, right? They were at home, and he put it with all the confidence in the world. Top bins, goalie didn't even move, no chance. That for me, difficulty, emotion, everything. That's top.
Yeah.
100%.
Nobody can forget in the gold kits, the
Yes.
standing
Yeah.
ovation.
Yeah, those gold kits were
standing
incredible.
ovation.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Both those.
Mhm.
Buries a free kick. He
The free kick
owned-
was nice too. You
he
gotta give
owned
notice to that.
Casillas. Okay.
Poor Casillas.
But guys, yeah, can you pick out your top?
God, that's so hard.
That's tough.
For me, it's that kick from outside the box. It's
That I get the
that
World
Real
Cup
Madrid
goal
one, yeah,
too.
that's
The
your
World Cup is
top.
there in top 5
Because
of
I mean, it's
emotion
also the typical goal a la Del Piero, because it's just like he's coming in from
on
the
this
opposite
angle.
side of the box, and he just curls that shit.
It was almost like a chip more than it was a
Yeah.
curl. But yeah, I
Yeah,
see what you
yeah.
I see your point though. I definitely see your point.
For me, I love a good free kick. So it's that
True.
free kick that he scored against Inter, and I think
That was
when
2005.
2005,
That was a banger.
2006.
That was a
2006. See,
banger.
Al knows the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
For
89
me,
minutes.
I just love it's textbook. It's beautiful.
Yeah. That picture right
Ooh,
there is the
Omar.
celebration.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
For me, that sums him up.
Oh,
perfectly.
dude, Omar, yeah,
Yeah,
that the
Omar against
Dortmund goal
yeah,
in
that's
the
a
final,
good note.
the back heel.
Oh,
For some of the
yeah.
younger guys, because I'm old and I remember a lot of
right.
the
I
older Del
didn't watch
Piero
that
goals,
game.
man. The Ala Del Pieros he scored a free kick that he might have been trying to cross it into everybody. It was against, I think, Rangers, but it was
Yeah.
a hell
Yep.
of like it just whizzed into the top corner there. He scored an outside of the boot free kick from probably like 35 yards out against who the heck was it? It was in Champions League during I can't remember what season. Oh man, the season eludes me. I'm trying to think of what kit he wore. It was ridiculous though, because it just swerved. Keeper went one way and it just curled with the outside of his boot opposite. Sick goals on free kicks. I remember emotionally 2011-12 when Pirlo was complaining to the referee.
I was just
and
gonna
Del
say
Piero,
that.
Yeah.
Del Piero just steps up and rips it and
Yeah.
it goes in. Omar, thank you.
That
It was
was
against Zenit,
gorgeous.
that free kick.
Zenit, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Zenit, that snake and free kick. So yeah, a ton of goals. But that one more recently for the younger guys against it was Lazio.
It was
That free
Lazio.
It was
kick,
against
and the
Lazio, yeah.
celebration afterwards was just unreal.
It was late too. I think there was
I think it was
5 minutes
possibly
left
the last
or so.
kick of the game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
2011-12, same season, in the pink kits. He
those
had
pink
one where he literally, I don't know how to this day, he generated so much power on it, but he was making the dribble in the middle of the
He
area
slapped that so hard.
just at the top, and he made a turn and just hammered this thing, a laser from like a stopped position. It was absolutely disgusting. That's got to be up there too. He had a free kick in a friendly.
Al's just going off right now.
It was like 45 yards away. Like, I swear to God, it was like he can't be shooting from here. And you see his run up, and it almost looked like he was going to the dressing room. He was so far away from this ball, and he just runs a straight line at it, hammers this thing. There's so many. It's tough to call, but that Fiorentina one, top for me. And I like seeing how people gauge their goals, if it's moment, if it's emotion, where they were at the time. Because 2006, that particular one, I was at work when he scored that goal. I was not working, but I was there. We were sitting in the showroom. I was working at a car dealership at the time, and we had the showroom packed. He scores that thing, and I lose my mind. I think I actually ran around the lot losing it, as there was a couple guys supporting Germany there, so I had to go find them on the lot to make sure they knew that Italy just scored and made it 2-0, and it was in their house. And suck it. Yeah, it was good times. All right, guys,
Definitely the hand gesture for sure.
we're shutting it down there. So Edgar's got a little moment here. I watched Del Piero first game for Juve and his last. I was already a Juve fan before Del Piero joined in 93. There was a time the strike force was Baggio, Del Piero, Vialli, and Ravanelli.
That was dirty.
That was
Unfair.
absolutely insane. And I became introduced to them while it was Baggio, Vialli, Ravanelli, and it was absurd. And then Del Piero came in, and he just captured me from like the get-go, and he was just like, who is this guy? And then shortly after, we know what ended up happening, and Baggio ended up taking off, and Del Piero just went off, had a scary knee injury. And I always wonder what if with Del Piero, because he changed the type of player he was. But prior to that, man, it was crazy. And he came close, I think, in 2 Ballon d'Ors
Yeah.
prior, and I'd be shocked if he didn't tackle one. He almost tackled one after, actually. He got higher up, I think, again in 03 when we made that run in Champions and everything. So, yeah, hell of a player. Baggio's another one who went through some injuries and whatnot. But that strike force, are you kidding me? Spoiled, man.
Now we have
Spoiled.
Morata.
What's
Yeah, now
that?
we have Morata.
It's just missing Morata. It's just missing Morata. And Lucci bringing us there back to reality that we have a game today
Thank you.
against Genoa. And we will see Bernardeschi, Kulusevski, Morata. Okay, our new trident. But Dybala's going to be in there. It's all good, guys.
Thank God.
No, in all honesty, I fully expect a victory here. We all did. We all chose a victory. It's up to the lads to get it done. We'll be back tomorrow morning, same time with the post-match podcast. Make sure you join us and we can tackle it and hopefully all celebrate a victory. Till then, fino alla fine, forza Juventus.
Forza
Thanks,
Juve.
guys. Ciao.